Hi, this is Dee, and you're listening to my podcast, Let Me Clear My Throat. Tonight's episode, I'm really not sure on what I'm going to talk about. I've been sitting here contemplating on a subject. Sometimes I have something planned, and sometimes I just I don't even know where I'm going to take it, and that's kind of where I'm at, I think, tonight. I have a lot of things going through my mind, which is kind of scary sometimes. I would like to assume that I'm not the only one that can relate to that emotion. And it sometimes I get to the point where I get so many things in my mind and all these ideals and all these thoughts and all these things that I want to think about and I want to do, and all these things that I think are, I don't know how to put it. I like to do for others, and I like to do things that make other people happy and make a difference in the world and with other people's lives and do good. And I get all these ideals on, I could do this and this, and I get this thought and that thought, and then it overwhelms me. And I get all these thoughts that go through my head, and I'm thinking, I could do this, and I can do this, and I can do this, and I can do that, and then before I know it, I'm having an anxiety panic attack because I have all this information, and I'm in a million directions, and I don't know where to put it all. And that's kind of where I'm at tonight. I used to be the type of person where I was a big social butterfly and always on the go. And my ideal of the perfect night is to sit home and do nothing, because I was always running. I was always doing something, going to work, going to school, taking care, running the kids here and there, going out and doing something, just whatever, always on the go. And most of the time I was driving. And I would be so tired. I'm like, perfect night. Let's just stay home. And now it's to the point where, I've talked about before, I take care of my mom. And now I'm home all the time. And so now I'm trying to ease back out into the world and ease back into society, where I get social anxiety real bad going to the store. And, sometimes I've had to leave. Or I'm like, okay, I can do this. I can, I have to talk myself through it, or try to find a way to intervene it, or whatever the case may be. Or maybe, talk to somebody on the phone, or, have to change the pace of the scenery or the conversation with myself, or my train of thought, or whatever. And maybe this doesn't make any sense to anybody, but this is kind of where I'm at right now. I'm just really scattered. And I don't know, maybe it doesn't make, I don't know. I mean, I could start this podcast all over and try to make, it totally different, sounding, and try to make it all sound all proper and making sense and stuff. But realistically, this is real life. This is me. This is how I think. This is how my brain works. This is how my thoughts play through my mind. And this is reality for me. And I should not have to press stop and rewind and keep trying to, redo it just to make it sound right, and not feel like I'm stuttering in my head just to make sense to other people. And I've been doing that my whole life, even though I've not been actively recording myself or whatever my whole life. I always felt like I needed to rewind, or say something different, or speak differently, or act differently, or, change something about myself just to make myself right, per se, for someone else. And constantly changing me to make it acceptable for other people. And just to come to find out, I'm not going to please everyone. And even if I change and make it right for the person that supposedly wanted me to do and act a certain way, I'm still not going to get it right. Because no matter what, it's still just always going to feel like I'm messing up. And it's like I try so hard to do the right things and say the right things and be the right person, and I have such a big heart, and I try so much to make everybody, and this is my opinion, and maybe this isn't the way I come across to people, but I don't go out of my way to intentionally try to hurt anyone. I've made a lot of mistakes in my life, and I know I've unintentionally hurt a lot of people. At least it feels that way. But I have mainly hurt myself. I have hurt myself in so many directions that I am learning so rapidly. If that's not even the way I want to put that. I'm trying so hard to do the right thing towards myself. I'm trying to do the right thing for me. I don't know how to explain this. I've apologized to myself so many times, and I'm trying to do the right thing by me. I'm trying to remind myself that I'm human. I make mistakes. I'm not perfect. I'm not gonna always make myself happy. I'm gonna make myself upset. I'm gonna say wrong things. I'm gonna do wrong things. I'm not gonna have things in a certain order. I am gonna be chaotic and upside down. I am gonna have things in a cluster and a mess. I am going to say things and maybe use the wrong word or the wrong phrase. My hair is going to look out of place. My makeup will smear. My outfit might not match. My shoe might come undone, or my toes might need repainted, or they might need, I don't know, they might need lotion on them, or, whatever. I'm not going... I need to teach myself to heal. Because I've been put down so much my whole life that I'm constantly in motion to strive to try to learn more, try to know more, try to be more, try to help more, try to be perfect more, try to have things in order more, try to be in control more, try to come in and save the day more, try to be the one that comes in and makes everything okay, and make sure that everything is the way it's supposed to be the best I can, make sure everybody's got what they need the best I can, and put myself down here, and who cares if I'm tired and I'm about ready to fall over and pass out, and because I'm exhausted or whatever, as long as everybody else is okay, hell with me. And that's the way I've been, and I'm exhausted. I'm tired, emotionally, mentally, physically. I'm tired. I hurt. I'm broken. I'm lost. I feel abandoned. I've been pushed away so many times. I was telling my mom the other day, I said, the one thing in my life I'm used to being abandoned. That's about one of the only things in my life I'm used to. I'm used to being abandoned. And she's like, yeah. She agreed. I've been abandoned my whole life by pretty much everybody. I think there's one person pretty much in this whole world that has not abandoned me. And I haven't even known her my whole life. I don't even get to see her all the time. But she's there. And granted, haven't put her through the heartache and stuff that I've done to a lot of people through my depression and other things that I've went through. But my whole life I've been abused, I've been neglected, I've been abandoned, I've been bullied. So much I have overcome, and I continue to overcome and grow through. And I sat back the other day and I thought of all this stuff. I was like, man, I've been abused and bullied at work, at school, by my teachers, by my classmates, by my coworkers, by my bosses, by my family members, by my friends, by strangers. I've been put down. My husbands, my boyfriends, people that I've loved and cared about, and I've always been the one to try to look on the bright side of everything, even when everything was so blurred because I couldn't see anything through my tears. I still try to see the bright side. I always still try to find the good. And I still do that. And I will always try to continue to do that. Because I believe there is good in everything. Even the most traumatic, horrific things. Because it has happened within my life. In the most tragic situations in my life, there's been good things out of it. And maybe that sounds weird to some people, but they do. And now I have to spend my life now reminding myself, that, hey, look at you now. All those scars that you wear inside and out. People always say I'm not my scars. But you know what? I am my scars. Is it a bad thing? Not no more. Not no more. Because my scars are that's what makes me who I am. And I'm a damn good person. I'm a smart person. I'm a giving person. I'm a loving person. I'm motivating. I'm respectful. I'm loving. I'm caring. I'm worthy. I'm worth loving. All the positive things that I need to say about myself, I am learning and teaching to do. All the times that I have self-harmed myself, I am contradicting and teaching myself that that's not okay. Because the one person that should not abuse me more than anything is myself. I have beat my head in. I have smacked myself. I have punched myself. I have picked myself. I have mutilated myself. I've called myself names. The list goes on and on and on. And that's not okay. It's not okay. And I have learned that. And my podcast that I have done has been very eye-opening for me. Because the one thing I have learned is that being honest with myself is the biggest and most respectful thing I could ever do for myself. And if I can't respect me, well, why the hell not? Why can't I? I deserve. I matter. I'm a person. I'm a human being. I have feelings. And damn it, I matter. I make a difference. So even though my mind might be jumbled up, and even though I might have social anxiety now, and even though my mind might be giving me anxiety and panic attacks along with other things, and I might seem crazy and upside down to other people, and I might not always say and do and act and be what everybody wants, and I might seem like a big old mental case to some people. I'm me. I'm me, and I'm proud to be me. I don't go through my life judging other people on their mental stability or their trauma or the scars that they wear, and damn them for all of eternity. Sometimes life just hurts. And other times, you just don't know. You don't even know what life is. Because you've never really got a chance to live it. You've just been going through the motions of just being in life. Or being alive, I should say. I have this saying that sometimes living can suck the life right out of you. And to me, sometimes that's very true. I used to always say, sometimes in life, I feel like I'm just in my life and I'm just watching it go by, and every once in a while I just try to jump up and grab a hold of it just to be a part of it. That's not who I am now. That's not who I want to be. I want life to look at me and say, hey, you look like a lot of fun. Can I join you? Or you look like something, I have actually had people tell me that I'm worthless. I've literally had that come out of somebody's mouth before. It sticks in your head, And even though I like to say, even though I knew it wasn't true, it's an emotion of words that is like a cigarette burn that burns right deep down into your very core of your being, like an imprint branding you. and it just melts into your soul. At least that's the way it feels. At least that's what it's been for me. And that's not right. That's not fair. Just because other people are different, and just because people don't understand somebody or their train of thought, or just because somebody goes through something or has trauma or has a mental illness or has a different way of thinking about them, or, maybe it seems like they're bouncing off the walls, or has anxiety or panic attacks, or whatever the case may be, anything. They're still a human being. They're still a person. They still have feelings and emotions. They still matter in this world. And you'd think putting them down and pushing them away and belittling and bullying them and manipulating and whatever negative emotional whatever you want to throw in there at it helps the situation or helps a person. That's just cruel. Our world is so cruel. We are so cruel to each other. I don't understand that. I don't understand why we have to be so mean to one another. Why we are so hell-bent to hurt each other. I don't know, maybe this is just me, like I said, I'm just kind of in my thoughts in my head. And that's okay, because you know what? Where else am I going to be? They're my thoughts and it's my head. And I shouldn't apologize for that. I'm not sorry for that. Because I believe I'm not the only one that gets in their thoughts and in their head. I can't be the only one that feels some type of way. Or feels like they have been manipulated or bullied or hurt or made fun of and abused and neglected and abandoned and uncertain about their own emotions and feelings, or their own self-reflection, if you will. I can't be the only person that's felt that way. Or gets overwhelmed. Or just sits there and just doesn't even know what to think about themselves anymore. And you know what? I'll tell you what I think. I think that sometimes thinking is overrated. But that being said, we're going to do it anyway. Because I'm an overthinker. No, I don't want to say I'm an overthinker. I'm, what's a good word I can use? Not overthinker. I'm, I don't know what word I want to use. I like to expand my thoughts. I'm like an expander folder. Expandable folder. like a computer where they open up the folders and they expand out, and then you got all these folders open, and then before you know it, you look at your desktop and you get all these little folders everywhere. Yeah, that's pretty much me. And you're just like, how do all these folders get up on my desktop? I used to tell my mom all the time, you get all these, she's like, I don't know where all these folders came from. I'm like, well, evidently you've created them. Like, just don't delete them, and whatever you do, just don't delete them. I'll take care of them. And I'd come in, there'd be folders everywhere all over the desktop. And I'm just like, I'll just take care of it. That's pretty much how my head feels sometimes. Just a bunch of file folders. But anyway, so on that note, that's kind of where my head's at today. I'm just kind of in a lot of different directions, and been thinking about a lot of things, and trying to stay out of my feelings. I'm trying to do a lot of positive things, and I was talking to a friend. Her and I are supposed to be doing a podcast here pretty soon. We were going to do it the other day, but got a little sidetracked on some things. Got some ideas going on there. I know I've been talking about it for a while on doing a podcast with a guest and stuff, but we are definitely going to be doing that soon. Hopefully in the next week or two. We have to get our schedules synced up together. My mom has not been feeling well, so like I said, I take care of my mom, and she hasn't been feeling well at all. So I've really had a lot of my time with her, more so looking after her. She's got a lot going on, a lot of doctor appointments coming up real soon again. So obviously been trying to make sure her health is in order. I've been praying very diligently for her, trying to make sure she's gets her health up to par, better than what she's been. So hopefully we can sync up our schedules soon, and get that taken care of. So really don't know what I'm going to talk about tonight. I just kind of jumped on here. My head's been scattered, like I said, and I don't really want to cry in anybody's ear tonight, although I probably could use a really good cry. I haven't done that for a bit. Then again, I do that, then my nose is going to start running, and that's not going to be very good. Okay, that was a corny joke. But it's true, though. My nose would run, and then I'd have to go catch it. I wouldn't know where to go. Okay, that's not a good joke either, but okay. Okay, maybe I shouldn't quit my side job here, right? Or I should quit my side job. I don't know. Anyway, maybe I should rewind this and start over, because this is just kind of corny. No, we're going to go on with this. My other personalities might come out to play in a bit. Maybe it might be a little bit more entertaining. I could just try to do my little voice impersonations and stuff, and get all on my voice tuning and stuff. I do that when I drive down the road and stuff. I entertain myself. Most of the time it's just me driving down the road when I go somewhere. So I put on like little skit things with myself, and I have these different voices of impersonations, if you will, that I do. And I'll put on these little skits with myself, entertaining. Maybe it sounds a little crazy to some people, but I don't know. A lot of people tell me I should do like comedy or whatever. And maybe it don't sound like it to you right now coming through the speaker at that end that you're at, but I can be very funny. And like I said before, I can be very funny looking too. But I don't know. I do have a comical side to me, I guess. No, I do have a comical side to me. I know that, because I like to make people laugh. I try to make people laugh and smile. I always say I like to make people laugh, because I know what it's like to hurt and stuff, and I know that if they're laughing or smiling at that moment, then I know at least for that moment they're not hurting, and at least for that moment they're that pain is at least lifted enough for them to be able to have a moment to laugh, so maybe at least they can get a breath to hopefully change their feelings of emotion at that time. So my mom, she, on the other hand, especially when she don't feel good, she, like I said before, she kicks me out every other day. But here lately, I've got to say, I say that, but I haven't went anywhere. She doesn't tell me to get out of the room, but here lately, she's been kind of her funny, comical self that she used to be back in the day. But It might be because her oxygen's been low and she's just delirious from lack of oxygen. I don't know. But I say that jokingly, but she hasn't been feeling good. But she's been in decent spirits considering that she hasn't been feeling good. And maybe I'm just rambling on and you're just going, okay, what the hell is going on with this podcast? I don't know. We can make it whatever we want to make it. Or I say we as a me because I'm at this end and you're at that end. You can either mute me or turn me off or, I don't know, roll your eyes. You can talk over me. You can laugh at me. You can laugh with me. Of course, I'm not laughing right now, but I could fake laugh. I could tell you something funny that happened today. I'll have to think about it. Maybe I shouldn't. I told my mom and my daughter. Like I said, I entertained myself. It was kind of funny. No, you probably won't think it's funny. Because I told my mom, and she smirked. And I was like, well, it was funny. She said, well, it might have been funny if I would have been there. And I was like, well, I'm sure it would have been, because I laughed, for I don't know, at least, maybe 4 or 5 miles. I laughed. So much my sides were hurting. So. Okay, maybe I will. Just because it's funny. And maybe we could use a good laugh. And okay, anyway, I'm just gonna say this because I think it's funny, and I'd say you look like you could use a laugh, but to me, you're just squiggly lines on a computer screen. So, so anyway, I'm driving down the road today. And let me give you forewarning. I'm one of those people that when I'm trying to tell something that I think is funny, I have a hard time telling it because I'm too busy laughing that eventually I'll get around to telling actually what it is that was funny. So just bear with me. I will get to the point. So anyway, I was driving down the road. My exhaust pipe came loose. Okay, so my car is loud. And sometimes the fumes to my car are strong. So anyway, that being said, I was trying to make a joke to myself because obviously the car behind me could not hear me. The person in the car behind me could not hear me. Well, the car probably couldn't either. Anyway, so I'm driving down the road. This car behind me is pretty much on my tail end. And I'm like, get off my butt. I mean, seriously, why are you that close? So, this totally didn't come out right. And I'm... Sorry. So anyway, I'm looking back at this car. Now, mind you, I know they can't hear me, but I'm talking to them anyway. What was supposed to be said as reference to was my tailpipe. My tailpipe stinks. So if the smell doesn't choke you, the fumes more or less will poke you. They'll get you, the fumes will get you. So, but instead, it came across as oh my goodness. If it don't choke you, it'll poke you. Sorry. I forgot I also start when I laugh. Anyway, I laughed for about 5 miles home. I call 5 miles home after I said that. If we don't choke you, it'll poke you. Anyway, oh goodness. Boy, this podcast has took a turn. Sorry. Okay. Anyway. Okay. Anyway, I thought it was hilarious. So. Alright, let me gather myself. Okay, anyway. That was the funny thing for the day. So, that was, I know that had to be random, but I was trying to lighten up the mood too. So, this was a true story, by the way. This really was a true story. I did say that. And I came home and I told my daughter. She looked at me and rolled her eyes. My daughter's like 33 or something. And she looked at me and rolled her eyes. And then I said, I gotta go tell my mom. So I went there to tell my mom. And she chuckled. And I'm like, I gotta go tell my friend. I still have to call my friend and tell her. But if she's listening to this, then she'll hear me. But I'm still gonna call and tell her. So anyway, I hope that brightened up your moment. So on that note, let's talk about something else. I would say, so how was your day? But, yeah. My counselor has a field day with me. He tells me I make his job easy. I'm not so sure about that sometimes, but I don't know. So anyway, I would like to say though, I don't know how long this podcast is going to be tonight. I am glad that I changed the mood setting on that because I needed that laugh again. I don't know, I get these little switches that go on and it's like I'm all happy and giddy and laughing and singing and whatever, and and then I'll get this little mood switch and then I'll get all sad and teary-eyed or thinking in my feelings. But I've said this before, I can't see who listens to my podcast. And I'm okay with that. But I would like to say that I am very grateful for each and every one of you that join me in my podcast. Because it is very heartwarming to know that even though I can't see or hear or even know what is going on the other side of this microphone, that there is someone that has taken time in their life that listens to me, that hears me, that laughs with me, that cries with me, that can relate to me, that understands me. That is human, like me. And You are a big, huge, and amazing special reason of a contribution that has played a big part of my healing. This podcast that I have been doing, these podcasts that I have been doing, they have been probably one of the best decisions that I have ever chose to do. Because I love to help people. But I also know that in order to help people, I have to exist first. And the world is a better place because you're in it. And I know this for a fact. Because it's better. Because you've helped me in my world. And my world is better because you have been in it. So all those times that you feel the way that you feel in those moments, I pray that you remember that. Because without you, I would be just talking to I'd just be talking to the wall. I used to always say, why talk to the air don't care. I couldn't be any more wrong. In more ways than I could probably ever explain, that is very wrong. We all go through things. And sometimes we feel like we are alone. We can be in a room full of people and feel utterly alone. People see laughs and smiles on the outside, but they don't feel the pain that we feel on the inside. And if you are going through something, don't feel ashamed. Don't feel ashamed of your feelings and your emotions. You're entitled to them, even if somebody else doesn't understand them. Depending on where you're located at, try to look up, resources of places that you can reach out to. There are professional organizations that can help you in times of need. Find different coping mechanisms to help you work through things. 980 is Suicide and Health and Prevention Hotline here where I live. I'm probably going to close this podcast out. Actually, it sounds pretty vicious outside with the weather. Not really sure what's going on out there. I want to just say thank you for whoever's taking their time out in their life to spend it listening to me. Because I know it's the one thing in your life you'll never get back is your time. And if you have spent it listening to me, I wholeheartedly appreciate it. So on that, I'm going to close out early than I normally do. Like I said, the weather sounds really weird outside. So I'm going to go see what's going on. And on that, I hope everybody has a safe and blessed evening. Good night.